Hi, welcome to the Ask the Counselor show. I am Vondolyn Salter Lane, Counselormsvee, and I am here today with my special guest, Dr. Donna Potter. Hi, Dr. Potter. How are you today?
Hi, Von. Very good, thank you.
Thank you for coming on. So I want to talk today about God and what He's doing and how He's moving. And I want to talk today about Dr. Donna's um, outreach business. It's called In His Name Outreach. And so, where did your faith come from, Dr. Donna?
Well, it started as a small child. Like so many other people, I come from a dysfunctional family, right? I'm an adult child of an alcoholic, and the things that come with that um, make one search, right? The pain in people. And so as a child, somebody put a picture of Jesus on my wall that had Jesus with his heart open. And even from a small child, I knew that he loved me even in spite of all of my circumstances. And so from there, um, it took me in a walk through various churches, from Catholicism to Baptist to Nazarene to whatever, and I learned how important faith was in each of our walks and why it's important to ask Christ to be in it with us so that we can have the strength that He promises.
Wow, that's beautiful. How did you know your calling to counsel?
Well, I can remember one of my jobs. I'm like a jack of all trades, and one of my jobs was waitressing for many years. And I can remember walking into the restroom one day and looking in the mirror and hearing this voice say, you know, one day you're going to be a counselor. And I thought, well, that's not really strange because people will come to me to ask for advice from time to time. Not that I thought that I knew anything,
Right.
but I remember hearing that voice. But I was so engrossed with people and people needing me that I literally had to step up and away and leave New York in order to be able to start school
Right.
for counseling, because we get engrossed with people,
Right.
and people have so many needs.
Right.
We all have needs, but to actually have an opportunity to be called by God, I had a choice whether I wanted to become a full clinician or if I wanted to follow a faith-based track. And so where I was at in my life, I figured that I was going to try the faith-based because it wasn't going to be about money, it was going to be about my calling. So 22 years ago, I started that path, and my youngest client is 3 and my oldest one is 97.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Right?
So that actually leads me to my next question would be how did in his name outreach, which is the business that you have developed, how did that develop?
Well, it actually started out of my own private practice. and it's basically been straight referrals across the board. Um, I have I started practice in approximately 2000, and these last 22 years has just been so much growth. In 2015, we became a 501c3, which made us a nonprofit. With having a nonprofit status, it was able to help us to grow more because now we could receive donations,
Right.
because we are a nonprofit and not funded by New York State or anybody else. It's just been like the blood, sweat, and tears
Right.
that has just promoted all of our growth.
And tell me some of the services that In His Name Outreach offers. I know they have a lot of different things that they offer, but can you start off telling me what about the counseling coaching that they offer? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, with the counseling and the coaching, we are hooked in with Friends of Recovery New York out of Albany, and they are right off of OASIS, the Office of Addiction Support and Services. For New York, ASAP, which is Addiction Professionals, and just different organizations that we've hooked up with, we actually do a lot of the training for them to bring SERPAs, Certified Recovery Peer Advocates and Recovery Coaches, into their rightful opportunity for occupation, to be peers and to help others. So we are an OASIS education provider, so we do training for New York State. That was something that I didn't expect to come out of it. The counseling, I just have a love to speak into people's lives and to hear everybody's stories, because everybody's got one.
Yeah.
And no matter what age we are, we're already developing, and we're always stepping into this world and getting our toes stepped on or our hands slapped or whatever, and it seems like life does that to us.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what age you are, we all sometimes just need either an ear to hear and validate who we are. Maybe we didn't get love along the way and we were lacking, we felt lack. So sometimes my favorite part of the job is just loving on people. And then there are those, we're in, just even right now, in an opportunity with the pandemic that is just causing a lot of stress and anxiety, and to be able to be there for the things that are the trials and temptations that are facing people in their life. So
Right.
they need us, don't they? And
They do.
I want to say it's wonderful having you as a new part
Yes.
of In His Name Outreach.
Thank you, and it's a blessing, and it is wonderful to be a part of that. So I thank you, Dr. Donna, and I thank you, God, for placing me there. And and it's like I said, it's been a blessing, and I'm praying that I be a blessing to some of my clients that I have. So tell me about the premarital counseling. So before you get married, and you do marital counseling there.
Yes. Before we get married, it's really important to look at some of the challenges that we have. If I'm teaching a class of people that are getting ready to get married, and you ask that question, are you the same or opposite of your partner? And most of them will always raise their hand and say, we are opposites. Well, how do we take opposites and put opposites together?
Right.
And make a relationship that's going to last a lifetime? So in that, the premarital counseling helps us to look at who does finances, who has what responsibilities, what does this new intimacy in marriage look like? And all the different questions that we have. So you have an opportunity to meet some different relationships, marriage relationships, and find out the information that'll help you.
Right. And so We did counseling, community outreach, premarital counseling. You also offer support groups at In His Name Outreach as well.
We do. We have addiction support groups, Addiction Conquers. It meets on Tuesday. Right now, we're still Zooming on those, but we also have a list of faith-based virtual Zooms right now. We have groups that from time to time that will meet in regards to anger or forgiveness or adultery. You know, we're in a world where temptation and lust is everywhere.
Right.
And to be able to have somebody to talk about those experiences with, you know, that can be huge so that we don't feel like we're out there all alone, you know, alone struggling.
And that's wonderful because people definitely need that support, and to have a Christian-based agency support you in your journey of recovery or whatever your journey is, whether it's just trying to maintain your sanity, if you will.
Right.
And to have a counselor or have an organization that is not only going to help you along the way, but in that process will educate you, will teach you, will pray for you along the way. And that is wonderful. So I also love this next one. You have a Rwanda, right? Child sponsorship.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
I keep trying to tell people I'm just a little West Side girl from Buffalo. Born and raised, this is my hometown. But along the way, due to the opportunity of social platform, I had a young man reach to me from Rwanda, and come to find out that he's a youth evangelist, and he had a dream, and his dream was you know, to go forward in a spiritual way and become the potential that God had for him. So he has, his name is Bonaventure, his wife is Esther, and Isaac is their son. And so as I started a relationship with Bonaventure, it instantly became like a mother-son relationship. And because it was spiritual, it just made it just more rich, because when you put all the beautiful components and add spirituality to it, it becomes like from a flat surface to a tapestry, right? And the fullness that we add into life. And so we would talk on his little phone. He would go up to the top of the hill and he would go into the tall grass so that his phone would be magnified. And he would tell me, and I would see the village road and the people going in and out of the village and the things that they were carrying, and all of a sudden I realized I'm a part of this. And so that district actually, because it's so rural, really had no contact with white people. And so he would tell me about, here we are with COVID, and we think here that we don't have enough. And he would tell me about the people who were starving, because those who don't have even have less, and my heart was breaking. So I did a fundraiser on Facebook, and we were able to feed 100 families in through COVID. But it wasn't just delivering food. It was that Bonaventure speaks very good English, and he and I were able to video chat on a regular basis, and with that relationship grew, and he could translate. And so those picking up food could come on the computer and tell me, I wanted to know what their prayer requests were so that I could pray for their needs. And so that kind of grew. and relationships in the community grew. I have friends there now, and now we have a school, and it started as just a nursery school last year because the parents came and said, instead of having our little children go to a whole different district and walk home at night, and because their night comes quicker than ours because of the 6-hour time span. So he said, Mom, the parents, they could try to afford one teacher if we could do a school. And so I'm like, well, let's see what we can do. There were 10 little orphans, and these orphans are in an orphanage close by, and we still need to help that orphanage because the children are still sleeping on the floor. But in the school, when they come to school, there would be one little boy, his name is Fiston, and he will wake up in the middle of the night, and he would stand by the door at the orphanage because he couldn't wait to get to school. These children are just thriving so beautiful in the school, and this little boy would come into school, and we have mats for sleeping for their nap time, and he would get on a soft mat, and then you couldn't wake him up because that's where he would go to sleep heavy, right? But these children from the orphanage didn't even have clothing, and so sent them all to the tailor. They have all their clothes made, but we have a sponsorship program. As I said, we're not funded by anybody, and sometimes it's just my credit card that gets hit. So we thought that if we could start a sponsorship program of $30 a month, we now have 60 children because the school stepped forward and just took a growth spurt. So for $30 in sponsorship, they get educational materials, the best teaching. They have sports there and a playground next to the school that we've placed there. They have 2 phenomenal meals every day. We've got 3 cooks there for the children. But it also means that we need firewood and some of those things that we don't necessarily think of here. So we still have we've only have 2 children sponsored. We still have lots of sponsorships available. So if you could help us to help these children, we would just so appreciate that. And you can check out ihno.org if you're interested in sponsoring. You also can speak to your child. We have a translator available, and you can actually interact, and you can tell your child how much you love them. And you can't find that anywhere. So it's a blessing.
It is a blessing. And thank you for your vision, and thank you for reaching out and doing what you do. Actually, that goes me to my next question. And I will definitely give you all of the information to get in touch with Dr. Donna, to get in touch with the sponsorship of Rwanda. I'm sorry,
Rwanda.
and anything else that maybe you need counseling, or maybe you want to do the support groups, and and all of that, and all of the things that they offer in His Name Outreach. We'll give you all of that information at the end of the show. So what's your favorite part about what you do?
Number 1, loving people. That is definitely my favorite part. To be able to pour love and speak into people's potential, as you know, how rewarding that is, and to make a difference in my community. And as we do that, God can continue to use us into ways that we never dreamed possible. So from going from a teeny little office to the office that we have today, to work in our community to bring advocacy to recovery to those people caught in addiction that wouldn't have a voice otherwise. That is phenomenal to me, to then be able to meet people I never dreamed I would meet, to have an influence into another country that I never dreamed I would go. And we're trying to raise money right now because I plan on going to Rwanda in July. And
Wow.
I have a whole community I can't wait to worship and to just spend time with Bonaventure and the family
Yeah.
and to meet and love on more children and get all of these little people in my arms for hugs. I'll tell you, hugs are my favorite. Yeah.
That is wonderful. So I know that In His Name Outreach is also doing something coming up, and I'll let you tell us about that with Dr. Carolyn Leaf.
Oh, for sure. So, a couple of years ago, I went to Caroline Leaf's conference that she had in Dallas, and I had an opportunity to get up close and personal because one of my friends knows her and the family very well. So in meeting her at the conference, I thought, wow, this woman is the only woman that I know, Vondolyn, that can actually talk 24 hours without stopping. She is amazing. The information that she brings on mental health, on brain science, on putting those things together, what actually happens inside of me. She's written many books. One of them is called Switch on Your Brain, and she has a 21-day detox, brain detox in that one. Well, it took me a little bit longer, but about the 11th day, even in my own experience going through it, I had a breakthrough to find out what was what was an obstacle that I was facing in my everyday life, so that I was losing focus regularly. And so finding out that it was the interruptions and the distractions that was doing that. So I was able to find it, focus on it, and to change it over. We actually can change the DNA in our brains, right? Okay. So when it says mind over matter, it really means that matter that is caught up between this ear and this ear. So doing it myself, I started to learn what power she brings to the table, having been a clinician for a good part of her life. And she does so many wonderful things. Now she's got a new book out called Cleaning Up Your Mental Mess.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So we are bringing her actually here, and we've got a conference coming on March 25th and 26th right to the Niagara Falls Event Center.
Okay.
And so tickets are available on our website, ihno.org, and we've even got a special coming starting on February 1st for Valentine's Day. So if you haven't grabbed them yet, you want to make sure to get in on that special.
Right.
Friday night is a great meet and greet. But we're going to have 2 tracks during the conference. On the day of the conference, there will be a track for the clinician, and there will be a track for pastors and ministers that we have mental health people that we interact with on a regular basis. And even the church needs a little bit of training on how to respect or treat people who are challenged in mental health.
Right.
So we're so thankful to be a catalyst into that, and tickets are available for anybody at any point, and we're looking so forward to that.
Yeah.
I am so excited.
I'm excited too. I already got mine's in. My bid in, so I'm going to be there. So it sounds wonderful, and I thank God again for you, Dr. Donna, for the wonderful things that you're doing and how you're allowing God to use you to help so many people move forward with their lives. So I definitely would love for you to be on again. And I thank you for coming on today. And like I said, I am going to have all of Dr. Donna's contact information in the credits, and you can reach her or email her. Her website is
ihno.org for In His Name Outreach.
yes. So definitely go to ihno.org and get your tickets, or just you can. Is there an email there for you to also talk to people or
Well, we
schedule a
can-
visit? Or
Yeah, we
okay.
can take by email at office@ihno.org, Donna@ihno.org,
Okay.
or you can give the office a call at 716-464-3681.
Yes. So I want to say again, thank you, and please be blessed, be safe, and God bless everybody.
God bless.
So, and on another note, I have some announcements coming up. The Larry Salter Soul Orchestra will be performing at the Broadway Market for Black History Month, and that will be February 26th. That's a Saturday, from 12:30 to 3:30, and it's just going to be, God is basically in this, and He's been moving. So we just want to thank you again, Dr. Donna, and just please be prayerful and be safe. God bless. Thank you.